Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, September 15. On this date in 2008, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Memphis, Tennessee. In the main event, Rey Mysterio defeated Kane by disqualification. On this date in 1996, WCW held its Fall Brawl pay-per-view. In the main event, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, NWO Sting, and Hollywood Hogan defeated Arn Anderson, Sting, Lex Luger, and Ric Flair in a War Games match. On this date in 2003, WWE Monday Night Raw aired live from Columbia, South Carolina. In the main event, Jerry the King Lawler defeated Al Snow. This has been Today in Wrestling History, September 15.
Hi, this is Jim Cornette, and you're listening to Pro Wrestling Weekly with Fearon on 1490 WBCB.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. It's amazing how fate kind of works itself with the Today in Wrestling History. I had to go back 9 years to Raw, where Jerry Lawler was in the main event.
Well, was Rey Mysterio also in that?
Well, no, the 2008 one was Mysterio and Kane, and that happened to be from Memphis, Lawler's home state there. But no, 2003, Jerry Lawler and Al Snow. Of course, that was right around the time that there was a battle for the commentators' positions, and that actually led to a pay-per-view that following Sunday. And I actually put the clip of that match up on the Pro Wrestling Weekly Facebook fan page, so make sure to check that out. But that was kind of a precursor to that following Sunday, where it was JR and Jerry Lawler against Jonathan Coachman and Al Snow, and the winning team would be the commentators for Raw, which, of course, Lawler and JR won. But
that's kind of silly, but fun.
Oh yeah, but I mean that was 2003. They were trying to figure out what direction to go in next, because by that point, The Rock was filming movies. Austin, his knees and neck were pretty much shot by that point, so he was wrestling more and more sporadically, and they were trying to, they had Lesnar there, but not for much longer, so they were trying to figure out what direction to go into next.
He also wasn't really that good. On top of that, Lesnar not being that good is a problem.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he had the amateur pedigree, and he obviously had the brute size that Vince enjoys, for lack of a better term that will throw me off the air.
It's definitely that's where he gets his jollies, I guess.
His jollies. That's a very good description.
That's where he really enjoys the really big guys. They can be the worst wrestlers, but if they look good, he feels like putting them on a poster would make him money.
Exactly. I mean, how many of those have we seen over the last 5-6 years? I mean, the Great Khali, Vladimir Kozlov. I mean, these guys have been, for the most part, busts. And now that those guys are gone, we're kind of going back to the Big Show and Kane, guys who we've seen now for 15 plus years. I mean, Kane, you got to go all the way back to 95 with, ironically enough, Jerry Lawler's dentist, Isaac Yankem DDS, if you remember.
Right, yes, I do. I wanted to talk about the gut check and
TNA gut check.
I kind of wanted to get your opinion on that. My brain went to it when you started talking about Al Snow. I wanted to see. Yeah. I wanted to kind of.
But yet, D'Lo Brown didn't make you think of it. Well, no, he's not directly involved with it. True.
He's not one of the judges.
It's Al Snow and Bruce Pritchard and
Taz. I kind of wanted to get your take on it. I mean, since you're.
Well, here's my thing. I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is, they're trying to capitalize on the American Idol, X Factor, The Voice, all these different shows that have that similar format. America's Got Talent, same thing.
You got to get 3 yeses, or you're out of it.
Yeah,
you got to get 2 yeses.
Yeah, you got to get the majority yeses. But the problem is they bring in these younger guys or girls, in I think one case, and they've got these stories and they kind of go with it, but after they get the yes, we don't see from him again. I mean, the only person who we've seen anything out of is Joey Ryan, and he was the one who was told no and kind of made this like personal vendetta, and even that really hasn't gone anywhere. So, I mean, it seems like a decent idea, but I think it was one of those where it looked good on paper, but the execution just wasn't quite there.
Right.
There's an Andy Reid joke in there somewhere, but I'm not.
Dude.
Even while Bill Melody's laughing at that one.
I was laughing at
that might make Merrill angry. I better not.
Andy Reid's mustache. I saw it on TV yesterday. It was pretty insane. I hadn't seen him, but he's really grown over.
Oh wow!
Looks like Wilford Brimley, sort of.
There have been a lot of comparisons between Wilford Brimley and oh gosh, who was the? I'm drawing a blank on the coach's name now. He coached in Seattle most recently and had that success in Green Bay for a while. Looks a lot like Andy Reid.
Okay.
It'll come to me later. Yeah.
Andy Reid's mentor.
Yeah, Andy Reid's mentor, and I can't remember his name now.
So gut check, huh?
Yeah.
So
we go football every once in a while here on Pro Wrestling. We delve out of the box sometimes. Yeah, gut check. I think it was a good idea on paper that didn't quite translate to the big screen.
Would you think any of those people were any good? Like watching those matches, or you think like anything has been like super promising?
The problem is, I mean, when you're given a 2-minute match, I mean, you don't have much of a sampling to go on. I mean, in every case, each of these guys have gone in against a TNA veteran, gotten the living daylights whooped out of them, and you're supposed to make some sort of judgment or assessment based off of that. And I don't know. I think it's too small of a window, really, to make that kind of a decision as well. Based on what we've seen over the last 2 minutes of you, yeah, we'll take you in, or no, you're not what we're looking for.
I feel like it's all about that immediate pop, really. Like I feel like it's we pushed you and give you this television time, and the fans like you, so we're all going to say yes. So we get that immediate pop from the fans, and we don't do anything else with.
And then we don't do anything else with you, exactly. So
the best thing that's come out of it is Joey Ryan so far, where they're doing the thing where he's
had a vendetta going on with Taz and with Al Snow and
Occupy.
Yeah,
87%. Like using that almost. It's topical. It's not super topical because it was more like a last year thing. But
yeah,
he's still doing the protest.
It's somewhat relevant as opposed to Vince, who maybe by now might be making a Watergate joke.
Right. But doing Donald Trump Rosie O'Donnell match.
Oh, yeah, I'm shuddering to think. All right, I need to cleanse from that. Let's go to the phones where we got Ed, who's been hanging on. Well, we thought we had Ed who was hanging on, but it looks like he couldn't hang on too long. I guess he heard Rosie O'Donnell and Donald Trump too, and he immediately dropped the phone. Who knows?
Well, it's a travesty.
Okay, let's take a look. Night of Champions, of course, tomorrow night. I've got my predictions certain to go wrong. Of course, there's a battle royal to determine the number one contender for the U.S. Championship facing Antonio Cesaro. WWE has not announced who the participants are of this battle royal or how many there will be. That says to me, I don't even think they know.
Yeah, they'll probably just throw it together.
They'll throw it together last minute, so it's kind of hard to predict who's going to win the battle royal if I don't even know who's in the bloody thing.
That sounds like something that's going to be a YouTube exclusive.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely for the pre-show.
It's not, okay.
They've already announced that's going to be the pre-show match, and then I guess later in the pay-per-view, you'll have the winner of that battle royal take on Antonio Cesaro for the U.S. title. Based on that, I mean, I know Tyson Kidd and Brodus Clay kind of were a little more outspoken this week on Raw and SmackDown, but I think Cesaro is going to hang on to it for a little bit. The belts need some credibility. I mean, Cesaro, he can go a number of different ways with it, I think. Plus, I have to admit, I've got a little bit of a personal tie since I have had him here on the program back when he was Claudio Castagnoli.
Right.
So, got to look out for my boys,
Right, of course.
Got to get that.
Here's an idea, and this idea I've discussed with a few of my friends, and it seems like a decent idea, and now it would make perfect sense considering what they're doing. The United States title, they should merge that with the Zack Ryder's internet title.
Okay.
Because all those matches wind up just going on the internet anyway and don't get on TV. So
true.
Bring the internet belt, because it's a nice looking belt, bring that onto television, or not on television, but have whoever is the internet champion and he defends his belt before pay-per-views on the YouTube exclusive videos. To bring that into...
So that way you're always getting a title match. Well, you're getting a title match for free on the pay-per-view. Now, is that something that would be defended just the once a month, or would it be something you'd do like before Raw, perhaps? Or, there's a number, I guess.
You could do it.
I like the idea. It's just a matter of where to go with it.
A house show belt, but it's exclusive for internet. So,
and that could be something where if there was a title change at a house show, you could put that on WWE.com, and you could get back to title changes that don't necessarily occur on television. Which, I mean, last time we saw that with the WWE Championship was when Diesel beat Bob Backlund 3 days after the '94 Survivor Series.
Well, I remember they did something where Jeff Jarrett won back the Intercontinental title at a house show. I don't even remember what year it was, but I don't have the documents in my head like you do. But I do remember them showing like kind of like grainy
like
footage,
still footage or something like that. You know, pictures.
Footage,
They could definitely go that way. All right, back to the predictions real quick. Yeah, more predictions. All right, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth against Daniel Bryan and Kane. I'm on board with Team Friendship. I think it's going to be Kane and Daniel Bryan taking the belts here. Because Kofi Kingston and R-Truth have just kind of lingered since they've been paired as a tag team. And I don't know if that's Vince's intent or not. Who knows? That's a whole other debate for another show. Layla and Caitlyn for the Divas title. I think Layla's going to hang on to it, and we'll probably see Layla and Eve at Hell in a Cell coming up next month. That's just a hunch. Randy Orton against Dolph Ziggler. Ziggler definitely could use the win, and Orton, I mean, he's like Teflon. A loss won't really affect him in any way, so I think Ziggler's taking that one. The Miz, Rey Mysterio, Sin Cara, and Cody Rhodes in a four-way match for the Intercontinental title. I've always had a soft spot for Rhodes. I think I'm going with him getting the belt back here and beating the Miz. Although, you know, I like the Miz a little bit too, but you know, I'm hoping that, you know, Rhodes can get back on track with this. Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio world title. They've built Sheamus up to look so strong that you can't pick against him in this point, even though they've banned the Brogue kick. I think Sheamus has taken that. And then, of course, CM Punk and John Cena, WWE Championship. I think Punk's reign continues well into 300 days, and he may be one of only 7 people to have held the belt for over a year when all's said and done.
Here's my sort of prediction.
Okay.
At some point, the Money in the Bank, Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggler's going to get involved somewhere. I just have no idea where.
Somehow involve himself in the Sheamus Alberto Del Rio whole thing. Whether it comes out with Alberto Del Rio beating
True, Del Rio could beat Sheamus, get a Brogue kick, and next thing you know, there's Dolph Ziggler. That's certainly a possibility.
Because like, it's kind of almost teetering on the fence of Dolph Ziggler getting "Let's Go Ziggler" chants and like babyface fire. So
yeah, he's a bit of a tweener at the moment.
At the moment, the only thing that keeps him a heel is Vicky Guerrero.
And I think that's why they're reluctant to let her go. All right, we've got about 2 minutes left, and I know I've been plugging this all hour. Well, actually, one last mention, of course. Right after this, I'm heading over to George's Cards and Collectibles. D'Lo Brown's going to be there. Make sure you're there, too. Of course, they're right over on New Falls Road.
Let me interrupt my plug with another plug. That's what you just did.
It's basically what I meant promoting that story that you've been dying to hear about all hour now. The WWE is removing dated and edgier Attitude Era footage from its website as well as its mobile platforms, and that's according to a statement released this past Thursday night. Quote, some of this footage has been misused in political environments without any context or explanation as to when it was produced. This damages the corporate reputation of our company, although they didn't say that it also damaged Linda McMahon's efforts to be a senator, which I think is more the purpose of it.
Of course.
But yet, WWE claims this is not in response to recent attack ads against former WWE CEO Linda McMahon during her Senate campaign, but rather a corporate rebranding effort. Quote, for years, WWE has produced programming that is rated PG in primetime and most recently rated G on Saturday mornings. This is, of course, from Brian Flynn, a spokesman for the WWE. To better reflect our current family-friendly brand of entertainment, WWE is removing some dated and edgier footage from digital platforms.
Are we going to know specifically what any
He didn't mention any specifics in the article, at least that I saw. But the ironic part of this is that the video game coming out in a couple of months, WWE 13, the entire focus of the video game is about the Attitude Era. Right. So they're I don't know, they're showing one thing with one hand and then taking it away in the other hand. So it's hard to say.
Constant contradiction.
Definitely. But yeah, anyway, Cory, I want to thank you for joining me this hour. You're more than welcome anytime. I mean, you're only a few minutes down the road. You know where the place is. Yes. It's no big deal. So, I mean, based on your schedule, now that you're back in the ring 6 hours from now, I mean, good luck tonight, and I guess, maybe give us a holler next week to let us know how everything went.
Fearon, I appreciate you having me on, bro. I'll get myself back in here at some point or the other.
Yeah, whatever. I was going to say, we'll keep in touch, absolutely.
I can call or text you, and or
I'm always around, even when I'm not.
Since I'll do a plug now,
a quick one because we got the news in about 20 seconds here.
Okay, visit me on CoryKastle.com, CoryKastle, or you can follow me on Twitter. Same
thing, CoryKastle. Thanks so much to Bill Melody for producing. We'll be back. 2 weeks from now, preempted next week for high school football here on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Stay tuned. Bill Melody's up next in high school football.